College education has gone up by 1,200%. Think about that. So what's happening here? Let's take a look at this and we'll talk more about it.
You think the price of a college education has skyrocketed in the last few decades due to any other reason than government intervention? You probably went to college. Not a compliment. Once the government started backstopping, guaranteeing, and offering more federal student loan assistance, as well as grants and now forgiving them, the price went up and the quality went down. Because now that the government is guaranteeing the loans, it's enabling more people to go to college that probably shouldn't, getting useless degrees that they won't need or probably shouldn't have gotten in the first place.
And you may recognize our next guest from social media, Bobby Sausalito, a.k.a. Bobby Sauce. He's a Turning Point USA contributor, a political comedian. Bobby, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. So we just saw a portion of your video. In it, you bring up a good point. Colleges are in bed with the government. Let's address the elephant in the room. How are universities getting away with raising tuition with no regulations? And now the burden is on the taxpayer. So low-wage workers essentially will be picking up the tab.
The fact that we're picking and choosing who to give taxpayer dollars to is wrong just to begin with. The fact that they're even doing this is a gift to the wealthy. And the fact that college is so inflated in the first place is because the government is involved so much already. It's the reason that it's inflated and the reason that the price is so high is because they got their dirty little paws in there and guaranteed all of these loans. So it wouldn't be as expensive, and it wasn't as expensive in the past when the government didn't get in the way. When they pick and choose winners and losers, we all end up losing. And the vast majority of people don't even go to college. And it also even punishes the people that went and paid off their student loans to begin with, that did the right thing, didn't buy the new car, didn't buy the new phone. So it's terrible, and it sets an extremely harmful moral hazard for people that may have considered paying it off, but now won't in the future, and other people that will go to college that maybe didn't, thinking that it's just going to be free anyways.
Well, Bobby, there's a reason why you can't bankrupt on your student loans.
Right. And interestingly enough, Tucker did a really good segment about this last night on Fox, where he talked about how Joe had all of these people in his back pocket when he was in the Congress in Delaware. So this is a gift to these institutions, and if these colleges actually had to produce students that were earning high-paying jobs, and these degrees were so valuable, then people would want to pay the amount for them. But as a result, when the government backstops all these loans and sends all these people to universities that wouldn't even have gone, the price will come down. They will have to make a higher quality of education, and the students would have to really know that they'd be able to make that money back on the back end in order for them to go in the first place. This is pure and simple, yet another example of socialism. And forget about us sending money overseas to Ukraine and all of these other places. We can look at one individual item at a time. They talk about the businesses getting these PPP loans. Well, if the government shut down the ability for businesses to run and earn money, and they're employing all of these people, that's a lot different than an individual person choosing and electing to go and get a degree. And since not everybody did that, whereas every business for the most part was shut down, these are two different things, and it's not apples to apples, and it's not a fair comparison. Well, what about this bad thing?
Yeah.
How about this other bad thing now as a result?
Well, and it's not just Republicans who are against this big gift. Many Americans calling this a political move by Biden ahead of the midterms. Yeah. So buying votes, essentially. You also have Democrats criticizing this move, like Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan, saying this sends the wrong message.
Yeah, it's a bribe. It's a pure and simple bribe. And the thing that I always talk about on my channels is that the vast majority of people don't have understanding of finance. They don't understand the depth, and they don't have the depth of knowledge and depth of research to understand what's actually going on. If you can sell the vast majority of people using a slogan, it's the "Don't Say Gay" bill, or it's the canceling of student debt. It's not being canceled. They're just manipulating language to pass it through people that don't have the depth of understanding to know what they're really talking about. This debt is not being canceled. It's not being forgiven. It's being subsidized, and or in simpler terms, it's being paid for by everybody else. But they are masters of sloganeering. They are masters of word manipulation, and the vast majority of people don't look into it. I saw an article online yesterday that talked about how watching too much news can be bad for your health. They're trying to convince you that paying attention to what's going on in the world is bad for your health. Kind of like global warming causes heart attacks and blood clots and all that.
Don't look over here, look over there. Bobby, I do love watching your videos online because you talk about serious topics, but you add a sense of humor to it. You also bring context to the bigger picture, like what you were just describing. You live in Florida. I want to get your take on the big win for parents across Florida as conservatives flipped school board seats across the state. Common sense winning?
Yeah, I mean, parents are fed up with it. And the good thing about all of this bad stuff that's going on is that your average everyday person that wasn't paying attention while they were kind of getting screwed is now being invigorated to join in the fight. The reality is that in order for the world to change, in order for the world to be better, each of us has to have our own personal responsibility. We need to get better in our own life. We need to be paying attention to all these things that we just trusted to be okay. They have gone way farther than they should have ever gone. And now people are paying attention. And these small school boards, these small local changes in leadership are what needs to happen in order for the world to change. People look at world-changing events like you have to make this macro impact. You have to have 150,000 followers on social media or 250,000 followers on social media like I do to make an impact. When in reality, the greatest impact that you can make is in your small social circle, is in the 5 to 10 people that you know personally, and it will ripple outward from there. And Miami and other school districts in Florida are making their voices heard and changing it one small step at a time, and that's how the greater picture will change.
Yeah, there is power in numbers, that is for sure. Let me ask you this. How did you grow so fast on your social media, becoming a Turning Point USA contributor? You're growing so fast. Any new projects you're working on?
The key has been people are fed up and they respect the fact that I show up with consistency. I'm filling a market need for a type of content that somebody wants that's not boring, because this is a very dark time. It's a very horrible time if you look at all of the news. They need that relief and they need that entertainment, but they also want to be informed and not be completely in a hole of darkness. So the way that I've grown so fast is because the market wants it and it needs it. And there's so many people that are not being real and not saying the truth. And what you're looking at right now is the first look at my new studio. I'm starting to do now weekly live streams and podcasts with a higher quality audio and much higher quality video, hopefully spreading the message far and wide and continuing to be what I refer to as a distributor of the truth, which in my opinion is the most significant way that your average everyday person can change the world. Be a truth distributor in your local area, in your social groups, change the conversation, make it cool to pay attention to what's going on in the world. And we can change this. They've gone way too far, and I think that the average everyday person just can decide to be great in their own life and go ahead and broadcast it, even if just to a couple people in their life. And the world will change and things will get better.
Love it. Love it. Very, very motivational and powerful. Bobby Sausalito, Bobby Sauce, as you go by. Your handle is Take Naps, right?
That's right.
Why that handle, by the way? I forgot to ask you.
I first registered my Instagram in 2013. I was looking for something short, succinct, and easy to remember. I was like, take a nap. Naps are good. I love naps. Everyone spells it. Easy to find. But BobbySauce.com is where everybody can find me.
All right, Bobby. Thanks so much for joining us. Always love to see your stuff online.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you.